Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I do hope everybody is having a great day. If you guys are having a great day, definitely hit that like button. But also today we have a lot to talk about, right? Regulations, one of the biggest topics, especially around the XRP case. You know, the XRP case has been going on for about roughly 2.5 years now. What the hell is taking so long? Well, I can tell you what. The SEC is not bringing us regulations. They're slowing things down so that the big guys can be a part of the journey. I've talked about this many times in the past, and in fact, the SEC is not going to be the ones that bring regulations to the space anyways. They are, if you will, a speed bump in the road ahead. 801_XRP posted this video. I'm not going to play the video because it is 6 minutes long, but this is with the IOSCO. And they're talking about how they've promised to give global recommendations around how crypto should be regulated around the securities market by the end of 2023. Now, as we do look at regulations, yes, I believe that we need them. Yes, I believe that they are coming. And yes, I believe that they will change everything. They will also wipe this market out, especially a lot of the retail sector, because they are blinded with things that don't really matter around crypto that provide zero value to the outside world. As we do look at what's happening around global recommendations with regulations around crypto, I've always said that we need a global harmonized approach, very similar to trade finance, actually. Trade finance with XinFin, we've talked about MLATR with that harmonized approach. That is crucial. If all of these nations have different sets of rules, it creates a lot of friction in the regulatory aspect. If you have a harmonized approach, well, now you have an interoperable standardization around every single major nation to utilize crypto in the same exact way. That's why a harmonized approach is perfect. And as we do look at the IOSCO, they have been planning this for a while, but back in May, we did see a post from CoinDesk talking about how they proposed this policy recommendations for crypto. It will close on July 31st. As we do look at this, this is with a few major players. In fact, it is with the FSB and the IMF. Interesting. Who are those two major organizations? Well, you already know who they are, but why are they significant? Well, as we do look at both of them, they are closely working with the IOSCO. When you see it works intensively with the G20 and the Financial Stability Board on the global regulatory reform agenda. And we even do see a few things down here with the IMF as well. So they form the basis for the evaluation of the security sector for the financial sector assessment programs of the IMF and the World Bank. Very interesting. So yes, this is a major organization, especially around the securities market, because they are, in fact, the International Organization of Securities Commissions. And when we look at why this is significant in terms of the FSB, the IMF, and even the BIS, because again, going back to this video, as you do see the BIS logo there, this is a BIS meeting. Going back to February 26th of this year, and I've talked about this in a past video, the FSB, the IMF, and the BIS papers to set global crypto framework says G20. Okay, let's go back to that. So this is the IOSCO, working intensively with the G20 and the FSB. And again, they provide insight with the IMF and the World Bank. Very interesting. Going back to the FSB, December 15th, 2022. So this is 1 month after FTX. And we do see from Ripple that they are welcoming the opportunity to comment on the international regulation of crypto assets activities, a proposed framework. Now, this is related to regulation, supervision, and oversight of the crypto asset activities and markets. Again, they are responding to the Financial Stability Board about this consultation papers within crypto and crypto regulation. Now, at the same exact time that they are responding to the FSB, we know that in the past, going back to the IOSCO with the World Bank, we know in the past with the World Bank going back to November of 2021, this is a year, almost a whole year after the lawsuit came into play around Ripple, we know that this actually mentions XRP and XLM. And they even do mention Ripple and Stellar. So let me zoom in. You guys probably know about this with the stablecoin agenda. And also, guess what? The G20. This was from July of 2022. Ripple has been shortlisted for its CBDC solution in the G20 challenge. So this is with 100 teams that participated, and only 21 of the teams have been shortlisted. Ripple was one of them. And of course, this was with the BIS and the G20. But wait, why is Ripple being shortlisted here if they are in a lawsuit and they're battling this lawsuit and it looks pretty rough, it looks bad, but now they're being shortlisted for its CBDC solution? That doesn't really make sense, right? Oh, and they're also mentioned on the World Bank document. And also the IMF, June 19th of this year. The IMF envisions new class of cross-border payment platform with a single ledger. Now, this was with the XC platform, no connection to Ripple and XRP at all. But the reason why I bring this up is because, yes, the IMF has been hyper-focused on cross-border payments. And if we go back in time, this is from Ripple, by the way. This is from Ripple, transforming global payments, enabling the internet of value. If we come back all the way down here, this is pretty interesting, by the way. So if we scroll down to regulatory and policy engagement, ongoing engagement with 40 plus regulators. The Bank of England Accelerator Program, Ripple selected to inform the next generation of RTGS payment infrastructure. Federal Reserve, faster payments. Ripple was selected to serve on the steering committee of this industry strategic initiative. Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, Infrastructure Innovation Partnership for financial institutions to leverage Ripple for cross-border payments. And last but not least, check that out. The IMF. Ripple was selected to serve on the IMF's high-level advisory group on fintech. Okay, so let me get this straight. Ripple was in a lawsuit with the SEC in the US. Meanwhile, they're working with 40 plus regulators and they have ongoing engagement with them. And also, the G20 is shortlisting them for a CBDC solution with the BIS. The World Bank is mentioning them, and only Stellar as well. And now we also see them responding to the FSB back in December of 2022. Meanwhile, we are seeing a global initiative around regulatory frameworks. I told you guys that the SEC does not matter. They hold zero weight to their name. The SEC lawsuit, whether it be win, lose, or draw, I do not care. Okay? If Ripple loses that lawsuit and XRP drops and plummets in value, you better bet that I'm buying. Because guess what? That is going to be one of the largest shakeouts around the XRP community that we've ever seen since going all the way back to when the lawsuit was announced. I will be a big buyer because I believe in the future, and I believe that this lawsuit was all by design. This lawsuit was to slow the markets down so that the big boys can come into play. How do I know this? Well, it's clear, and it's always been clear. And Riz XRP posted this. This is actually with XRP Darren. Told you guys, go check Darren out over on Twitter and on YouTube. And we do see HODL, all by design. And I want to ask you all, do you know what you hold? If you do know what you hold, comment down below. And also hit that like button. But listen closely to this video.
Just long held and simple norms about how you treat customer assets, for example. And what I think crypto is here to stay. I think what's happened is clearly a setback. But right now, I actually think it's a huge opportunity for the incumbent financial firms to actually take the lead.
The ones that are already regulated and run, for example, regulated exchanges.
Yeah, and know how to segregate client assets and yeah. So I think that is what's going to happen. On kind of
Wouldn't that be ironic, though, given the disruption that crypto promised?
Yeah, there is some irony to it, and I'm yeah, it is ironic, but I think that is going to be the evolution.
According to Dawn, this SEC assault is a huge opportunity for the incumbents. When she says incumbent, she means the big banks. Notice that she gives Gary Gensler's argument almost verbatim. Exchanges are commingling funds and there's a need to segregate client assets. Well, the legacy banks, the incumbents, are already equipped to handle such tasks. There's a reason Gensler did a 180 from teaching blockchain at MIT to parroting the incumbents. This downturn in crypto is for them to make their move, to cause destruction and swoop in. They control the SEC. She laughs at the idea of an ironic outcome. They love inversions. Down with the banks. The freedom of decentralization is now going to merge with the centralized powers that be.
And I completely agree with Darren here. You know, when we actually look at what's happening around this market, it's kind of comical. I seen a tweet come up on my Twitter, and I 100% agreed with it. It was the idea that the inception of Bitcoin initially was to escape centralization. Recently, we've seen Bitcoin maxis, you know, throwing parties over on Twitter because the Bitcoin ETFs. The Bitcoin ETFs, well, guess what? You are celebrating these big institutions swooping up coins and becoming centralized entities around Bitcoin. It is comical. Now, of course, do I think that we will be able to escape this? No. Listen, these are trillionaires technically. I mean, BlackRock controls what? Almost $10 trillion worth of assets. These are players that have unlimited amount of money, and they are backed by the elites, the big players, right? So as we do look at this, yes, I believe it was all by design to slow things out, to bring in the big boys, right? Especially with these ETFs, like we do see over here. Justin, $9 trillion asset manager, BlackRock CEO, says crypto is digital gold and Bitcoin is an international asset. Now, of course, I think that this is like a big distraction. Listen, Bitcoin's not it. I've talked about it many times in the past. I don't believe that Bitcoin, is the, albeit major asset in the space. Again, listen, I say this because one, Bitcoin is not for the regular guy. Most people are not going out and buying one Bitcoin when they can barely afford, a $40,000 car. Bitcoin today is sitting at $30,000. Do you think somebody's just going out and dropping $30,000 on one Bitcoin? No. And if they do, what are they going to make? What are they going to do? Double their money? I could buy XRP today and I could double my money easily. Because I believe that the future is going to be, well over $1 plus XRP. XRP has to move 50 cents. Bitcoin has to move $30,000 in order for it to double. Again, do I think that Bitcoin will double in value? Yes. But I'm saying Bitcoin, you're not going to get rich off of Bitcoin unless you are already rich and you are putting a ton of money on the line. But we do see from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, listen closely.
And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear. Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency. And so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
So yeah, I mean, 180 stance from the big boys, because guess what? They are all filing ETFs, the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And I'm going to tell you this right now. They're manipulating the market. This is pure manipulation, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But we know that these are the big elites. These are the ones that control most of these markets. When you see BlackRock, Wisdom Tree, I mean, the list goes on and on and on about these, major entities filing these Bitcoin ETFs. And it comes at like a weird time in the market, one. But also, two, like these players have been buying up Bitcoin. They're not going to go out and buy spot Bitcoin today at $30,000. No, they bought at 15. They bought at 16, 17, 18. They've been buying for years. It's just now that they're, announcing these Bitcoin ETFs to manipulate the market, just like usual. But nonetheless, we are seeing a significant shift around this market. And I do believe that, listen, regulations are on its way. And I believe that we will see you know, a significant event coming out soon around crypto and crypto regulatory, you know, frameworks and things like that. We are seeing the plans in place. It might be, like I said, I always love the saying, it might be months away, it might be years away, but guess what? When money is on the line and when incredible wealth is there as well. Because listen, even XRP, any of these assets around crypto is still speculation. But I have zero doubt when it comes to a lot of these assets. I will take the risk. I will bet that XRP and some of these other utility gems are going to make me extremely wealthy. And if I'm wrong, well, at least I took the shot anyways. Because I'd rather be investing in crypto than holding my money in the bank, losing money on it. Because inflation is swallowing up a lot of people. So I'm making the big bet. I'm making the big bet that crypto is the future. And although, like, listen, I love to see these big players like the BlackRock CEO coming out and talking about crypto and the future of crypto and things like that. But I always look at statements like this as, all right, they're trying to manipulate the market because we've seen it many times in the past. But again, I think that this is right on par with the idea that this has been all by design. The big players are jumping in now because guess what? They already, you know, bought the dip during FTX because they knew FTX was going to implode because the SEC let it go. You ever wonder why FTX got the green light? It's because they were manipulating the market. They knew what FTX was. Anyone can see from a mile away that FTX was going to implode. And I think that that's exactly why the FTX situation had to happen. So that they could utilize it as an example. The big players can jump in and, you know, scoop up all of these cheap coins, just like they did all through, you know, 2017, 2018. I mean, listen, this has been going on forever with JP Morgan. Go back in time and look at JP Morgan. I mean, their stance flips 24/7. And I can't wait until we start to see the predictions with Larry Fink saying Bitcoin's going to go to 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, because we always hear that as well. But with that being said, as we look at the SEC, as we look at regulations, things are moving pretty quickly. The SEC, I know that we cannot wait for a decision around the SEC lawsuit, but I really do think that the SEC lawsuit is, like I said, a speed bump in the road to slow things down. So, you know, the big boys can come into place and even the infrastructure, right? We don't have an infrastructure of tomorrow in place to accommodate for this new financial system yet. But the building blocks are piling up. They are building it. The new system is nearly here. And I know that we've been waiting forever. I know. But I always say patience is a virtue. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night. Wherever you guys on this beautiful, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.